Welcome to Torah Truth for Us with Linda.
The steadfast love of Yehovah never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. Yehovah is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I have hope in him. Yehovah is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. Great is thy faithfulness.
The Book of Exodus, Shemot. Exodus, chapters 1, verse 1 through 6, verse 1. The Book of Exodus, Shemot. Exodus, chapters 1, verse 1 through 6, verse 1. Shemot. And these, the names of the sons of Israel, who came to Egypt with Jacob, each man and his household came: Reuben, Simeon, Levi and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all the souls who were descendants of Jacob, 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt. And Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation died. But the sons of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and grew exceedingly greatly, and the land was filled with them. And there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, Look, the people of the sons of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with him, lest he multiply, and it happen, when there falls out war, that he may join our enemies also, and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. Therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens. And they built supply cities for Pharaoh, Pithom and Ramesses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were in dread of the sons of Israel, and made the sons of Israel serve Egypt with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with bondage, and in all manner of service, in mortar and in brick, in the field, all their service, in which they made them serve them with harshness. And the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebreresses midwives, of whom the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the second Puah. And he said, When you help the Hebrew woman give birth, and see upon the footstool, if it is a son, then you shall put him to death. But if it is a daughter, then she will live. But the midwives feared Elohim, and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, "Why have you done this thing and saved the male children alive?" And the midwives said to Pharaoh, "The women are not like the Egyptians, for the Hebrews are lively, and they give birth before we come to deliver." Therefore Elohim dwelt with the midwives, and the people multiplied, and they grew very mighty. And so it was, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he provided for them households. And Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, "Every son who is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive." And a man of the house of Levi went and took a daughter of Levi. The woman conceived and bore a son. And when she saw that he was beautiful, then she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, then she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with tar and pitch, and put the child in it, and laid it in the reeds by the bank of the Nile. And his sisters stood afar off to know what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the Nile, and her maidens walked alongside of the Nile. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her maidservant to retrieve it. And when she opened it, then she saw the child, and behold, the little boy wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." And his sister said to the daughter of Pharaoh, "Shall I go and call for you a woman, a nurse from the Hebrewisses, that she may nurse the child for you?" And the daughter of Pharaoh said to her, "Go." And the maiden went and called the mother of the child. And the daughter of Pharaoh said to her, "Take away the child and nurse him for me, and I will give you wages." And the woman took the child and nursed him. And the child grew, and she brought him unto the daughter of Pharaoh, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and said, "Because out of the water I drew him." And it came to pass in those days, that when Moses was grown, that he went out to see his brothers, and looked at their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew of his brothers. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw no one, that then he killed the Egyptian, and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, then behold, 2 Hebrew men were fighting. And he said to the one who did the wrong, "Why are you striking your companion?" And he said, "Who made you a prince and judge over us? Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" And Moses feared and said, "Surely this thing is known." And when Pharaoh heard of this matter, then he sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh, and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he abided by a well. And the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the troughs to water the flock of their father. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them, and watered their flock. And they came to Reuel their father, and he said, "Why have you returned so early today?" And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us from the hand of the shepherds, and also he even drew water for us and watered the flock." And he said to his daughters, "And where is he? What is this that you have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread." And Moses was content to live with the man, and he gave Zipporah his daughter to him. And she bore a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass after many days that the king of Egypt died, and the sons of Israel groaned because of the bondage, and they cried out, and their cry came up to Elohim because of the bondage. And Elohim heard their groaning, and Elohim remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Yaakov. And Elohim looked upon the sons of Israel, and Elohim took notice. When Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock behind the desert, and came to the mountain of Ha-Elohim, Horeb, and the angel of Yehovah appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn aside now and see this great sight, and why the bush does not burn. And when Yehovah saw that he turned aside to him to look, then Elohim called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Hineni, here I am. And he said, do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. And he said, I am the Elohe of your father, Elohe of Abraham, Elohe of Yitzhak, Elohe of Yaakov. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the God. And Yehovah said, surely I have seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and I have heard their cry because of their oppressors, for I know their sorrows. And I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of Egypt, to bring them up from the land to a good and large land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. And therefore, behold, the cry of the sons of Israel has come to me, and also I have seen the oppression with which Egypt oppressed them. And therefore come, and I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the sons of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said to the God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, that I should bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, surely I will be with you, and this shall be a sign to you, that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve the God on this mountain. And Moses said to Ha-Elohim, suppose I come to the sons of Israel, and shall say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And Elohim said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, I am has sent me to you. And moreover, Elohim said to Moses, thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, Yehovah Elohe of your fathers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. Go and gather together the elders of Israel, and say to them, Yehovah Elohe of your fathers has appeared to me, Elohe of Abraham, of Yitzhak, and of Yaakov, saying, surely I have visited you and have seen what is done to you in Egypt, And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt, to the land of Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, to a land flowing with milk and honey, and they will heed your voice. And you and the elders of the sons of Israel shall come to the king of Egypt, and you shall say to him, Yehovah Elohei of the Hebrews has met with us. Now, let us go, please, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Yehovah Eloheinu, our God. But I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go, unless by a mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand, and strike the Egyptians with all my wonders, which I will do in its midst, and after that he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and it shall be that when you go out, you shall not go out empty-handed, and every woman shall ask of her neighbor and any woman staying in her house for articles of silver and articles of gold and clothing. And you shall put them on your sons and on your daughters, so you shall plunder Egypt. And Moses answered and said, But suppose they will not believe me, or listen to my voice. Perhaps they say, Jehovah has not appeared to you. And Jehovah said to him, What is in your hand? And he said, A staff. And he said, Cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from it. And Jehovah said to Moses, Reach out your hand, and take it by the tail. And he reached out his hand, and caught it, and it became a staff in his hand, that they may believe that Jehovah Elohei of their fathers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, has appeared to you. And furthermore, Jehovah said to him, Now put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom, and when he took it out, then behold, his hand was leprous like snow. And he said, Put your hand in your bosom again. And he put his hand in his bosom again, and drew it out of his bosom, and behold, it was restored like his flesh. And it will be, if they do not believe you, nor heed the message of the first sign, then they will believe the message of the latter sign. And it shall be, if they do not believe even these 2 signs, or listen to your voice, that you shall take water from the Nile, and pour it on the dry land, and the water which you take from the Nile, then it will become blood on the dry land. And Moses said to Jehovah, Please, my Lord, I am not an eloquent man, also from yesterday, also from before, also from then. You have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. And Jehovah said to him, Who has made the mouth of man, or who makes the mute, or the deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Is it not I, Jehovah? Now therefore go, and I will be your mouth, and I will teach you what to say. And he said, Please, master, send, I pray, by the hand you will send. And the anger of Jehovah was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak well. Also, look, he is coming out to meet you, and when he sees you, then he will be glad in his heart. And you shall speak to him, and put the words in his mouth, and I will be your mouth, and with his mouth, and I will teach you what you shall do. And he will speak for you to the people, and he shall be for you as a mouth, and you shall be to him as Elohim. And this rod you shall take in your hand, with which you shall perform in you the signs. And Moses went and returned to Jethro his father-in-law, and said to him, Please let me go and return to my brothers who are in Egypt, and see whether they are still alive. And Yitro said to Moses, Go in shalom. And YHWH said to Moses in Midian, Go, return to Egypt, for all the men who sought your life are dead. And Moshe took his wife and his son, and set them on a donkey, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of the God in his hand. And YHWH said to Moses, When you go back to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders which I have put in your power. But I will harden his heart, so that he will not let the people go. And you shall say to Pharaoh, Thus says YHWH, My son, my firstborn, is Israel. And I say to you, Let go of my son, that he may serve me. But if you refuse to let go, indeed, I will kill your firstborn son. And it came to pass along the way at the encampment that YHWH met him and sought to kill him. And Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at the feet, and said, Surely a bridegroom of blood you are to me. And he let him go. Then she said, A bridegroom of blood, because of the circumcision. And YHWH said to Aaron, Go to meet Moses into the wilderness. And he went, and met him on the mountain of Elohim, and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words of YHWH, who had sent him, and all the signs which he had commanded him. And Moshe and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the sons of Israel. And Aaron spoke all the words which YHWH had spoken to Moses. And he did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed when they heard that YHWH had visited the sons of Israel, and that he had looked on their affliction, and they bowed their heads and worshipped. And afterward Moses and Aaron went in and said unto Pharaoh, Thus says YHWH, Elohe of Israel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, Who is YHWH that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I do not know the YHWH, and I will not let Israel go. And they said, The Elohe of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to YHWH our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with sword. And the king of Egypt said to them, Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people from their work? Get back to your labor. And Pharaoh said, Behold, the people are many now of the land, and you make rest for them from their labor? And the Pharaoh commanded on that day that the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, No longer shall you give the people straw to make brick as before. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. And the quota of bricks which they previously made before, they shall not reduce any of it, because they are lazy. For that reason, they cry out, Let us go and sacrifice to our God. Let the labor be heavier on the men, and have them work at it, so that they will pay no attention to false words. And the officers of the people and their taskmasters went out and spoke to the people, saying, Thus says Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. You go get yourselves straw where you can find it. Yet your work will not be reduced. So the people were scattered throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble for straw. And the officers kept pressing them, saying, "Fulfill your work, the quota day by day, as when there was straw." And the officers of the sons of Israel, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten, and asked, "Why are you not completed with your task that's required of making bricks, either yesterday or today as before?" And the officers of the sons of Israel came and cried out to Pharaoh, saying, "Why are you dealing thus with your servants? There is no straw given to your servants, and they tell us to make bricks. And indeed, your servants are beaten, but the fault is in your people." But he said, "You are idle, idle. You say thus, 'Let us go and sacrifice to Jehovah.' Therefore now go and work, for no straw shall be given you, and yet the quota of bricks you shall deliver." And the officers of the sons of Israel saw that they were in trouble after it was said, "You shall not reduce the day by quota of bricks." And they met Moses and Aaron, who stood there to meet them as they came out from Pharaoh, and they said to them, "May Jehovah look upon you and judge, because you have made us repulsive in Pharaoh's sight and in the sight of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to kill us." And Moses returned to Jehovah and said, "Master, why have you brought trouble on this people? Why have you sent me this? For when I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all." And Jehovah said to Moses, "Now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with a mighty hand he will let them go, and with a mighty hand he will drive them out of his land." Va'era. And Elohim spoke to Moses and said to him, "I am Jehovah, and I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, God Almighty. But by my name, Jehovah, I was not known by them. And also I have established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojourning, which they were strangers in. And also I have heard the groaning of the sons of Israel, whom Egypt keeps in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the sons of Israel, I, Jehovah, I will bring you out from under the burdens of Egypt, and I will rescue you from their bondage, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me as my people, and I will be to you God. Then you will know that I am Jehovah, your God, who brings you out of the bondage under the burdens of Egypt, and I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, and I will give it to you as a possession. I am Jehovah." And thus Moses spoke to the sons of Israel. But they did not heed unto Moses because of the spirit of anguish and cruel bondage. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, "Go in, tell Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to let go the sons of Israel out of his land." And Moses spoke before Jehovah, saying, "Behold, the sons of Israel have not heeded me. Then how shall Pharaoh heed me? For I am of uncircumcised lips." And Jehovah spoke to Moses and Aaron, and gave them a command for the sons of Israel, for Pharaoh king of Egypt, to bring the sons of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Now these are the heads of their fathers' houses: the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, and Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These are the families of Reuben. And the sons of Simeon, Yemuel, and Yamin, and Ochad, and Yachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanitess. These are the families of Simeon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations: Gershon, and Kohath, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libno, and Shimei, according to their families. And the sons of Kohath, Amram, and Izhar, and Hebron, and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. And the sons of Merari, Mali, and Mushi. And these were the families of Levi, according to their generations. And Amram took Jochebed, his father's sister, for himself his wife, and she bore to him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram, 137 years. And the sons of Ishar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zichri. And the sons of Uzziel, Mishael, and Elzaphan, and Zifri. And Aaron took Elisheba, daughter of Aminadab, sister of Nashon, to himself his wife, and she bore to him Nadab, and Abihu, and Eleazar, and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah, Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the families of the Korahite. And Eleazar, son of Aaron, took for himself one of the daughters of Putiel to him as wife, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their families. It was this same Aaron and Moses to whom Jehovah said, "Bring out the sons of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies." These are they who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the sons of Israel from Egypt. It was Moses and Aaron. And it came to pass on the day Jehovah spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, that Jehovah said to Moses, saying, "I am Jehovah. Speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say to you." But Moses said before the face of Jehovah, "Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips, and how shall Pharaoh heed me?" And Jehovah said to Moses, "See, I have made you as God to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you. And Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, that he send the sons of Israel out of his land. And I will harden the heart of Pharaoh, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh will not heed you, so that I may lay my hand on Egypt, and bring my armies, my people, the sons of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And Egypt shall know that I am Jehovah when I stretch out my hand against Egypt, and bring out the sons of Israel from among them." And Moses and Aaron did just as Jehovah commanded them. So they did. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Jehovah spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, 'Show for yourselves a miracle,' then you shall say to Aaron, 'Take your rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent.'" And Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh, and they did just as Jehovah commanded so. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, and so the magicians of Egypt also did in like manner with their enchantments. For every man threw down his rod, and they became serpents. But the rod of Aaron swallowed up their rods. The heart of Pharaoh grew hard, and he did not heed them, as Jehovah had said. And Jehovah said to Moses, the heart of Pharaoh is hard. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning when he goes out to the water, and you shall stand to meet him by the bank of the Nile. And the rod which was turned to a serpent you shall take in your hand, and you shall say to him, Yehovah Elohei of the Hebrews has sent me to you, saying, let go of my people, that they may serve me in the wilderness. But indeed you would not hear until even now. Thus says Jehovah, by this you shall know that I am Jehovah. Behold, I will strike with the rod that is in my hand the waters which are in the Nile, and they shall be turned to blood, and the fish that are in the Nile shall die, and the Nile shall stink. And Egypt will loathe to drink the water of the Nile. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, say to Aaron, take your rod and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their streams, over their rivers, and over their ponds, and over all their pools of water, that they may become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, and both in buckets of wood and pitchers of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so, just as Jehovah commanded. And he lifted up the rod and struck the waters that were in the Nile in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the Nile were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the Nile died, and the Nile stank, and Egypt could not drink of the water of the Nile, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And so the magicians of Egypt did with their enchantments, and the heart of Pharaoh grew hard, and he did not heed them, as Jehovah said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and nor was his heart moved by this. And all of Egypt dug all around the Nile for water to drink, because they could not drink the water of the Nile. And 7 days passed after Jehovah struck the river. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, go to Pharaoh and say to him, thus says Jehovah, let my people go, that they may serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all your territory with frogs. So shall the Nile bring forth frogs abundantly, and shall come and go into your house, and into your bedroom, and on your bed, and into the houses of your servants, and on your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading bowls, and on you, and on your people, and on all your servants, the frogs shall come up. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up on the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mitzrayim. And so the magicians with their enchantments did also, and brought up frogs on the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, entreat Jehovah that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may sacrifice to Jehovah. And Moses said to Pharaoh, accept the honor of saying over me when I shall intercede for you, for your servants, for your people, to destroy the frogs from you and your houses, only in the Nile, that they shall remain. And he said, tomorrow. And he said, let it be according to your word, that you may know that there is no one like Jehovah Eloheinu, the Lord our God. And the frogs shall depart from you, and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people. Only in the Nile they shall remain. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moses cried out to Jehovah concerning the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Jehovah did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the courtyards, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together on heaps of heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart, and did not heed them, as Jehovah had said. And Jehovah said to Moses, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land, so that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and struck the dust of the earth, and it became lice on man and beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And so the magicians worked with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. And there was lice on man and beast. And the magician said to Pharaoh, That is the finger of Elohim. But the heart of Pharaoh grew hard, and he did not heed them, just as Jehovah had said. And Jehovah said to Moses, Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out to the water, and say to him, Thus says Jehovah, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Or else if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send on you and your servants, and on your people, and into your houses, swarms of flies, and the houses of Egypt shall be full of swarms of flies, and also they will be on the ground. And I will set apart in that day the land of Goshen, which my people dwell. In there will not be swarms, in order that you may know that I, Jehovah, am in the midst of the land. And I will make a difference between my people and your people. Tomorrow shall be this sign. And Jehovah did so, and thick swarms of flies came into the house of Pharaoh, and houses of his servants, and into all the land of Mitzrayim. The land was corrupted because of the swarms of flies. And Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, Go, sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, It is not right to do so, for we would be sacrificing the abomination of Egypt to Jehovah our God. If we sacrifice the abomination of Egypt before their eyes, then will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to Jehovah our God as he will command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go that you may sacrifice to Jehovah your God in the wilderness. Only you shall not go very far away. Go, intercede for me. And Moses said, Indeed, I am going out from you, and will entreat Jehovah that the swarms may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let Pharaoh not deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Jehovah. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated unto Jehovah. And Jehovah did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart also at this time, and would not let the people go. And Jehovah said to Moses, Go into Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus says Jehovah Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and still hold them, behold, the hand of Yehovah will be on your livestock in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the oxen, and on the flocks, a very severe pestilence. And Yehovah will make a difference between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt, so nothing shall die of all that belongs to the sons of Israel. And Yehovah appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow Yehovah will do this thing in the land. And Yehovah did this thing on the next day, and all the livestock of Mitzrayim died, but of the livestock of the sons of Israel, not one died. And Pharaoh sent, and indeed, not even one livestock of Israel was dead. But the heart of Pharaoh became hard, and he did not let the people go. And Jehovah said to Moses and Aaron, Take for yourselves handfuls of ashes from a furnace, and let Moses scatter it toward the heavens in the sight of Pharaoh, and it will become fine dust in all the land of Egypt, and it will cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses scattered them toward the heavens, and they caused boils and sores that break out on man and beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all Egypt. But Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not heed them, just as Jehovah had spoken to Moses. And Jehovah said to Moses, Rise up in the morning and stand before Pharaoh, and say to him, Thus says Jehovah Elohei of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For at this time I will send all my plagues to your very heart, and on your servants and on your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now, if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. But indeed, for this I have raised you up, that I may show in you my power, that my name may be declared in all the earth. As yet, you exalt yourself against my people, and that you will not let them go. Behold, I will cause to raise down about this time tomorrow very heavy hail, such as has not been in Egypt since its founding and until now. Therefore now send and gather your livestock and all that you have in the field, for every man and every animal which is found in the field and is not brought home, when the hail shall come down, they shall die. He who feared the word of Jehovah among the servants of Pharaoh made haste to his servants and to his livestock into the houses. But he who did not regard the word of Jehovah left his servants and his livestock in the field. And Jehovah said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, on man and on beast, and on every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched out his rod toward the heavens, and Jehovah sent thunder and hail, and darted fire to the ground. And Jehovah rained hail on the land of Egypt. And there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, so very heavy, such as that there was none like it in all the land of Egypt from the time it became a nation. And hail struck throughout the whole land of Egypt, that all in the field, from man to beast and every herb of the field, the hail struck, and every tree of the field broke. Only there in the land of Goshen, there the sons of Israel were. No hail was there. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and to Aaron, and said to them, I have sinned this time. Jehovah is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat Jehovah, for that it is enough. There may be no thundering, nor mighty hail, and I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer. And Moshe said to him, As soon as I have gone out of the city, I will spread out my hands to Jehovah. The thunder will cease, and there will be no more hail, that you may know that the earth is of Jehovah. But as for you and your servants, I know that you will not fear the face of Jehovah Elohim. Now the flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was in the Abib, and the flax in bud. But the wheat and spelt were not struck, for they are late crops. And Moses went out of the city of Pharaoh, and spread out his hands to Jehovah. Then the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured on the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased, he hardened his heart and sinned yet more, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hard, and neither would he let the sons of Israel go, as Jehovah had spoken by Moses. Go. And Jehovah said to Moses, Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the hearts of his servants, that I may show these signs of mine before him, that you may tell in the hearing of your son and son of your son the mighty things I have done in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that you may know that I am Jehovah. And Moses and Aaron came in to Pharaoh and said to him, Thus says Jehovah, Elohim of the Hebrews, How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Or else if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your territory, and they will cover the face of the earth, so that no one will be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of what is left, which remains to you from the hail, and they shall eat every tree which grows up for you out of the field. And they shall fill your houses, and the houses of your servants, and all the houses of Egypt, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen since the day that they were on the earth to this day. And he turned, and he went out from Pharaoh. And the servants of Pharaoh said unto him, Until when shall this man be a snare to us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Jehovah their God. Do you not know that Egypt is destroyed? So Moses and Aaron were brought again to Pharaoh, and he said to them, Go, serve the Jehovah your God. Who are the ones who are going? And Moses said, We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and our herds we will go, for we must hold a feast to Jehovah. And he said to them, May it happen that Jehovah be with you, when I let you and little ones go. Beware, for evil is before your face. Not so. You men go now and serve the Jehovah, for that is what you desired. and they were driven out from the presence of Pharaoh. And Yehovah said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come upon the land of Egypt, and eat every herb of the land, all that the hail has left." And Moses stretched out his staff over the land of Egypt, and Yehovah brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. When it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts, and the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested on all the territory of Egypt. The locusts were very numerous, such as there had been previously, nor shall there be such after them. For they covered the face of all the earth, so that the land was darkened. And they ate every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees that had not fell from the hail. And there remained not anything green on the trees, or on the plants of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. And in haste Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, "I have sinned against Jehovah your God, and against you, and therefore please forgive my sin only this once, and entreat Jehovah your God, that he may take away only this death from me." And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated Jehovah. And Jehovah turned a very mighty west wind, which took away the locusts and blew them into the Red Sea. Not one locust remained there in all the land of Egypt. And Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the sons of Israel go. And Jehovah said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even that the darkness may be felt." And Moshe stretched out his hand toward the heavens, and there was thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place 3 days. But all the sons of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called to Moshe and said, "Go serve the Yehovah, only let your flocks and your herds be kept back. Also, your little ones may go with you." But Moses said, "You must also give us sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to Yehovah our God. And our livestock shall also go with us. Not one hoof shall be left behind, for we must take some of them to serve Yehovah Eloheinu. And even we do not know how we must serve the Yehovah until we arrive there." But Yehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said to him, "Get away from me. Take heed to yourself, and see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you shall die." And Moses said, "You have spoken well. I shall never see your face again." And Jehovah said to Moses, "I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. Afterward he will let you go from this place. When he lets you go, surely altogether he will drive you out from this place. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor and every woman from her neighbor articles of silver and articles of gold." And Jehovah gave the people favor in the sight of Egypt, Moreover, the man Moshe was very great in the land of Egypt in the sight of the servants of Pharaoh, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus says Yehovah, about midnight I will go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the maidservant who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of the animals. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as was never like it, nor shall be like it again. But against any of the sons of Israel not even a dog will threaten, nor anything, from person to animal, so that you may learn how Jehovah distinguishes between Egypt and Israel. And all your servants shall come down and bow down to me, saying to me, You and all the people who follow you, get out. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great anger. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Pharaoh will not heed you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the sons of Israel go out of his land. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be your beginning of months. It shall be to you the first month of the year. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month every man shall take for himself a lamb according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his household take one proportion of the lamb, according to the number of what each one eats. Your lamb shall be a male, a year old, without blemish. You may take it from the sheep, or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of this month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at twilight. And they shall take some of the blood, and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses which they eat in it. And they shall eat the flesh on this night, roasted in fire, and with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled, not boiled with water at all, but roasted in fire, its head with its legs and its entrails. And you shall let none of it remain until morning, and what remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire. And thus you shall eat it with a belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. So you shall eat it in haste. It is Jehovah's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt on this night, and will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from man and to beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Jehovah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. And this day shall be a memorial to you, and you shall keep it as a feast to Jehovah throughout your generations. By an everlasting ordinance you shall keep it as a feast. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall remove leaven from your houses, for whoever eats leavened bread, that person shall be cut off from Israel. from the first day until the seventh day. And on the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and on the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation. No manner of work shall be done for you on them, but that which every person must eat, only that may be prepared by you. And you shall observe unleavened bread, for on this same day I will have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations for an everlasting ordinance. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. 7 days no leaven shall be found in your houses, since whoever eats what is leavened, that same person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether a stranger or a native of the land. Anything leavened you shall not eat in all your dwellings. You shall not eat. You shall eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Pick out and take for yourselves lambs according to your families, and kill the Passover. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in a basin, and strike unto the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning. For Jehovah will pass through to strike Egypt, and when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts, Jehovah will pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. And you shall observe this thing as an ordinance for you and your sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when you come to the land which Jehovah will give you, just as he promised, that you shall keep this service. And it shall be, when your children say to you, What do you mean by this service? That you shall say, It is the Passover sacrifice of Jehovah, who passed over the houses of the sons of Israel in Egypt, when he struck Egypt and delivered our households. And the people bowed their heads and worshipped. And the sons of Israel went away and did just as Jehovah had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. And it came to pass at midnight that Jehovah struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose in the night, he and all his servants, and all Egypt. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise, go out from among my people, both you and the sons of Israel. Go serve Jehovah, as you have said. Also your flocks and your herds take, as you have said, and be gone. Bless me also. And Egypt urged the people that they might send them in haste out of the land, for they said, We shall all be dead. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having bound up their kneading bowls in their clothes on their shoulders. And the sons of Israel had done according to the word of Moses, and they had asked articles of silver, and asked for articles of gold and clothing from Egypt. And Jehovah had given the people favor in the sight of Egypt, and they granted them what they requested. Thus they plundered Egypt. And the sons of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Sukkot, about 600,000 men on foot, besides children. And also a mixed multitude went up with them in flocks and herds, a great deal of livestock. And they baked the dough which they had brought out of Egypt, unleavened cakes. For it was not leavened, because they were driven out of Egypt, and could not wait, nor had they prepared provisions for themselves. Now the sojourn of the sons of Israel who lived in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, on this same day, that all the armies of Jehovah went out from the land of Egypt. And it is a night of solemn observance to Jehovah for bringing them out of the land of Egypt, that this night is a solemn observance of Jehovah for all the sons of Israel throughout their generations. And Jehovah said to Moshe ve'Aaron, this is the statute of the Passover. Any son of a foreigner shall not eat it, but every servant of a man who is bought for money, and when you have circumcised him, then he may eat it. A sojourner and a hired servant shall not eat it. In one house it shall be eaten. You shall not carry it outside the house, none of the flesh outside, nor one of the bones shall you break. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger dwells with you and wants to keep the Passover to Jehovah, let all his males be circumcised. Then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as a native of the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat it. One Torah shall be for the native born, and for the stranger who dwells among you. Thus the sons of Israel did all Jehovah commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. And it came to pass on this very same day that Jehovah brought the sons of Israel out of the land of Egypt according to their armies. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, consecrate to me all the firstborn, whatever opens the womb among the sons of Israel, of man and beast, it is mine. And Moses said to the people, remember this day in which you went out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of the hand of Jehovah brought you out. No leavened bread shall be eaten of this place. On this day you are going out in the month of Abib. And it shall be, when Jehovah brings you into the land of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. And on the 7th day there shall be a feast to Jehovah. Unleavened bread shall be eaten for 7 days, and no unleavened bread shall be seen among you, nor leaven shall be seen among you in all your quarters. And you shall tell your son in that day, saying, because Jehovah did this for me when I came up from Egypt. And it shall be to you as a sign on your hand and between your eyes, as a memorial that the Torah of Jehovah may be in your mouth. For with a mighty hand Jehovah has brought you out of Egypt. Therefore you shall keep this ordinance in its season, from year to year. And it shall be, when Jehovah brings you into the land of the Canaanite, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall set apart all that open the womb to Jehovah. That is every firstborn that comes from an animal which you have. The males shall be Jehovah's. But every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it then, you shall break its neck. And all the firstborn of man among your sons you shall redeem. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? That you shall say to him, By strength of the hand of Jehovah brought us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh was stubborn about letting us go, that Jehovah killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Upon thus I sacrifice to Jehovah all males that open the womb, but all the firstborn son I will redeem. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Write this for a memorial in the book, and recount it in the hearing of Yeshua, that I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens. And Moses built an altar and called its name, Jehovah is my banner. For he said, Because Yah has sworn, Jehovah will war with Amalek from generation to generation. Yitro. And Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that Elohim had done for Moses, for Israel, that Jehovah had brought Israel, his people, out of Egypt. And Yitro, father-in-law of Moses, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back with her 2 sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a foreign land, and the name of the other one was Eleazar, for the Elohe of my father was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, father-in-law of Moses, and his wife, and with his sons, came to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of Elohim. And he said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you, and with your wife, and her 2 sons. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and bowed down, and kissed him. And they asked each other about their well-being, and went into his tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that Jehovah had done to Pharaoh and to Egypt for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had confronted them on the journey, and how Jehovah had rescued them. And Jethro rejoiced over all the good which Jehovah had done for Israel in rescuing them from the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be Jehovah, who has delivered you out of the hand of Egypt, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who has delivered the people from under the hand of Egypt. Now I know that Jehovah is greater than all the gods, for in the very thing in which they behave proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices to Elohim. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before Elohim. And so it was on the next day that Moses set to judge the people, and the people stood before Moses from morning until evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did for the people, he said, What is this thing you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone, and all the people stand before you from morning until evening? And Moses said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to inquire of Elohim. When they have difficulty, they come to me, and I judge between one and another, and I make known the statutes of the Elohim and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said to him, The thing that you do is not good. Surely you will wear yourselves out, both you and the people, these who are with you, for this thing is too much for you, and you are not able to perform it by yourself. Now listen to my voice. I will give you counsel. Elohim will be with you, and you stand before the people, before the Elohim, so that you may bring the difficulties to the God. And you shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and show them the way in which they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall select from all the people able men such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place them to be rulers over the thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50, and rulers of 10. And let them judge the people at all times. And it will be that every great matter that they shall bring to you, but every small matter they shall judge. And it will be easier for you, for they will bear the burden with you. If you do this thing and Elohim commands you, then you will be able to endure, and also all this people will go to their place in peace. And Moses heeded the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50, and rulers of 10. And they judged the people at all times. The hard cases they brought to Moses, but every small case they judged. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way to his own land. In the 3rd month, after the sons of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on this day they came to the wilderness of Sinai, for they had departed from Rephidim, and had come to the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness. And Israel camped there before the mountain. And Moses went up to Elohim, and YHWH called to him from the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the sons of Israel, You have seen what I did to Egypt, how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if indeed you will obey my voice, and keep my covenant, then you shall be to me a special treasure above all people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the sons of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before them all these words which YHWH commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that YHWH has spoken, we will do. And Moses brought back the words of the people to YHWH. And YHWH said to Moses, Behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. And Moses told the words of the people to YHWH. And YHWH said to Moses, Go to the people, and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and let them be ready for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day YHWH will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And you shall set bounds for the people all around, saying, Take heed to yourselves that you do not go up to the mountain, or touch its base. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely be put to death. A hand shall not touch him, but surely he shall be stoned or shot with an arrow, whether beast or man, he shall not live. When the shofar sounds long, they shall come near the mountain. And Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said to the people, Be ready, for 3 days do not come near your wives. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunderings and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of a shofar was very mighty, so that all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. And Mount Sinai was completely in smoke, because Jehovah descended upon it in fire, and its smoke, like the smoke of a furnace, ascended, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. And when the long blast of the shofar sounded and became very strong, Moses spoke, and the God answered him by voice. And Jehovah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and Jehovah called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And Jehovah said to Moses, Go down and warn the people, lest they break through to gaze at Jehovah, and many of them perish. And let the priests who come near to Jehovah sanctify themselves, lest Jehovah break out against them. But Moses said to Jehovah, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Let's set bounds around the mountain and consecrate it. And Jehovah said to him, Away, get down, and then come up, you and Aaron with you. But the priests and the people do not let break through to come up to Jehovah, lest he break out against them. And Moses went down to the people and spoke to them. And Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that which is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I, Jehovah, your God, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the sons to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands to those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Jehovah your El in vain, for Jehovah will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Jehovah your God. You shall do no work in it, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your livestock, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days Jehovah made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore Jehovah blessed the Sabbath day and consecrated it. Honor your father and mother, that your days may be long upon the land which your Elohim is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet the house of your neighbor. You shall not covet the wife of your neighbor, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor. And all the people witnessed the thunderings, and the lightning flashed, and the sound of the shofar, and the smoking mountain, And when the people saw, they trembled and stood afar off. And they said to Moses, You speak with us, and we will hear. But let Elohim not speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said to the people, Do not fear, for the Elohim has come to test you, that his fear may be before you, so that you may not sin. And the people stood afar off. But Moses drew near there unto the thick darkness. There was the Elohim. And Jehovah said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, You have seen that I have talked with you from the heavens. You shall not make anything to be with me, gods of silver nor gods of gold. You shall not make for yourselves. You shall make an altar of earth for me, and you shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen, in every place where I record my name. I will come to you and I will bless you. And if you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it with hewn stone, for if you use your tool on it, you have profaned it. Nor shall you go up by steps to my altar, let your nakedness not be exposed on it. Mishpatim, and these, the judgments which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free and pay nothing. If he comes in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If a husband of a wife, then the wife shall go out with him. If his master has given him a wife, and she has borne him sons and daughters, the wife and her children shall be of her master, and he shall go out by himself. But if the servant plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to the judges, and he shall bring him to the door or to the doorpost, and the master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sells his daughter to be a female slave, she shall not go out as do the male slaves. If she is displeasing in the eyes of her master, who has betrothed her to himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt deceitfully with her. And if he has betrothed her to his son, according to the custom of daughters, he shall deal with her. If he takes another to him, her food, her clothing, and her marriage rights, he shall not diminish. And if he does not do these 3 for her, then she shall go out free, without money. He who strikes a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. And if, however, he did not lie in wait, but the Elohim delivered him into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place where he may flee. But if a man acts with premeditation against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you shall take him from my altar, that he may die. And he who strikes his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And he who kidnaps a man and sells him, or if he is found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. And he who curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men contend with each other, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die but is confined to his bed, if he rises again and walks about outside with his staff, then he who struck him shall be free. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall provide for him to be healed. And if a man beats his male or maid servant with a rod so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if a day or 2 he remains alive, he shall not be punished, for he is his property. And if men fight and hurt a pregnant woman, so that she gives birth prematurely, and yet no harm follows, surely he shall be punished, as accordingly as the husband of the woman imposes on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man strikes the eye of his manservant, or the eye of his maidservant, and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. And if he knocks out the tooth of his manservant or maidservant, he shall let go free for the sake of the tooth. And if an ox gores a man or a woman to death, surely then the ox shall be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall go free. But if the ox tended to thrust with its horn in pastimes, and it has been made known to his owner, and he has not kept it confined, so that it has killed a man or a woman, then the ox and its owner also shall be stoned and put to death. If there was a sum of money imposed upon him, then he shall pay to redeem his life all that is imposed on him, whether it has gored a son or gored a daughter. According to this judgment it shall be done to him. If the ox gores a male or maidservant, he shall give 30 shekels of silver to their master, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man opens a pit, or if a man digs a pit, and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to their owner, but the dead animal shall be his. If one man hurts an ox of a man, so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money from it, and they shall divide also of the dead ox. Or if it was known that the ox tended to thrust it in, and its owner has not kept it confined, surely he shall pay ox for ox, and the dead animal shall be his own. If a man steals an ox or a sheep, and slaughters it, or sells it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If the thief is found breaking in, and he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed. If the sun has risen on him, there shall be guilt for his bloodshed. He should make full restitution. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If surely the theft is found in his hand, whether it is an ox or a donkey or sheep or a living thing, he shall restore double. If a man lets a field or vineyard be grazed, and lets his animal loose, so that it grazes in another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that stacked grain is consumed, or standing grain, or the field, he who kindled the fire surely will have restitution. If a man delivers to his neighbor money or articles to keep, and it is stolen out of his house of the man, if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought to the judges to see whether he has put his hand in the goods of his neighbor. For any kind of trespass concerning an ox, upon a donkey, upon a sheep, or clothing, or any kind of lost thing, which one claims that it is, the cause of the 2 of them, this shall come before the judges. Whomever the judges condemn shall pay double to his neighbor. If a man delivers to his neighbor a donkey, or an ox, or a sheep, or any animal to keep, and it dies, or is hurt, or driven away, no one seeing it, an oath to YHWH shall be between the two of them, that he has not put his hand into the goods of his neighbor. It is stolen from him. He shall make restitution to the owner of it. If it is torn to pieces, then he shall bring it as evidence that it was torn. He shall not make good. And if a man borrows an animal from his neighbor, and it is injured or dies while its owner is not with it, he shall make full restitution. If its owner is with it, the borrower shall not make restitution. If it is hired, it came by its hire. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, surely he shall pay the bride price for her to be his wife. If her father refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the bride price of virgins. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Whoever lies with a beast shall surely be put to death. He who sacrifices to gods other than to YHWH alone, he shall be utterly destroyed. You shall not mistreat a stranger, neither shall you oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child, if you afflict them in any way, for if they cry at all to me, surely I will hear their cry. My wrath will become hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to my people among you who are poor, you shall not be like a moneylender to him, and you shall not charge him interest. If you take the garment of your neighbor as a pledge, before the sun goes down you shall return it to him, for that is his only covering, a garment for his skin. In what will he sleep? And it will be that when he cries to me, I will hear, for I am gracious. You shall not revile Elohim, and a ruler of your people you shall not curse. The first of your ripe produce and your juices you shall not delay to offer. You shall give the firstborn of your sons to me. You shall do likewise with your oxen and your sheep. It shall be with its mother 7 days. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. And you shall be a holy people to me. Therefore you shall not eat flesh torn to pieces in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. You shall not circulate a false report. Do not put the wicked with your hand to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as to turn aside after many to pervert justice. And you shall not show partiality to a poor man in his dispute. If you meet the ox of your enemy or his donkey going astray, surely you shall bring it back again to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying under its burden, and you would refrain from helping it, surely you shall help him with it. You shall not pervert the just judgment of your poor in his dispute. Keep yourself far from a false matter, and do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will not justify the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the discerning and perverts the words of the righteous. And you shall not oppress a stranger, For you know the heart of a stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And 6 years you shall sow and gather in the produce of your land. But the seventh you shall let it rest and lie fallow, for the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field may eat. In like manner you shall do with your vineyard and your olive grove. 6 days you shall do work, and on the seventh day you shall rest, that your ox may rest, and your donkey, and the son of your maidservant, and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all that I have said to you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, nor let it be heard from your mouth. 3 times in the year you shall keep a feast to me. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you at the appointed time in the month of Abib. For in it you came out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of your labors which you have sown in the field. The feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when you have gathered in your labors from the field. 3 times in the year all your males shall appear before the face of the Master Yehovah. You shall not offer leavened bread with the blood of my sacrifice, nor shall fat remain until the morning of my sacrifice. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yehovah your El. You shall not boil a young goat in the milk of its mother. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Do not provoke him, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if you indeed obey my voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to your enemies, and an adversary to your adversaries. For my angel will go before you and bring you into the land of the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and all the Canaanite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, and I will cut them off. You shall not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do according to their words, but you shall overthrow them utterly, and completely break down their pillars. And you shall serve Jehovah your God, and he will bless your bread and your water. And I will take away sickness from the midst of you. No one shall suffer miscarriage or be barren in your land. The number of your days will be full. I will send my fear before you, and I will cause confusion among all the people to whom you come in, and I will make all your enemies turn their back to you. And I will send hornets before you, and shall drive out the Hivite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before you. I will not drive them out in 1 year before you, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you, until you have increased, and you inherit the land. And I will set your bounds from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the desert to the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, it will surely be a snare to you. And he said to Moses, Come up to Jehovah, you and Aaron, and Nadab, and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel, and worship from afar. And Moses alone shall come near Jehovah, but they shall not come near. nor the people shall go up with them. And Moses came and told the people all the words of YHWH and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which YHWH has said, we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of YHWH, and he rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the sons of Israel who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed bulls as peace offerings to YHWH. And Moses took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that YHWH has said we will do and obey. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, this is the blood of the covenant which YHWH has made with you according to all these words. And Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and the 70 elders of Israel went up, and they saw the Elohim of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a work of paved sapphire stone, and it was like the very heavens in its clarity. But on the nobles of the sons of Israel he did not lay his hand. So they saw the Elohim, and they ate and drank. And YHWH said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain and be there, and I will give you tablets of stone, and the Torah and commandments which I have written, that you may teach them. And Moses arose with Joshua, his personal servant, and Moses went up to the mountain of the God, and said to the elders, wait for us in this place until we come back to you. And indeed, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has difficulty with a man, let him go to them. And Moses went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain, and the glory of YHWH rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And he called to Moses on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud. And the sight of the glory of YHWH was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain in the eyes of the sons of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and went up into the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Terumah. And YHWH spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the sons of Israel, that they may bring me an offering. From every man who gives it willingly with his heart, you shall take my offering. And this is the offering which you shall take from them: gold, and silver, and bronze, and blue, and purple, and scarlet thread, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins, and acacia wood, oil for the light, oil for the anointing, and sweet spices for incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show you, the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of its furnishings, and you shall make it just so. And they shall make an ark of acacia wood. 2½ cubits shall be its length, and 1½ cubits its width, and 1½ cubits its height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold. Inside and out you shall overlay it, and shall make on it a gold molding all around. And you shall cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put them in its 4 corners, and 2 rings on one side, and 2 rings on the second side. And you shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, that the ark may be carried by them. And the poles in the rings of the ark shall not be taken from it. And you shall put into the ark the testimony which I shall give to you. And you shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits shall be its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold. You shall make them of hammered wood at the ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherub at this end, and the other cherub at one other end. You shall make the mercy seat of one piece, the cherubim at the 2 ends of it. And the cherubim shall stretch out their wings above, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and they shall face one unto another, for the mercy seat shall be the faces of the cherubim. And you shall put the mercy seat on the top, on the ark, and you shall put the testimony that I shall give to you in the ark. And I will meet with you there, and I will speak with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim, which are on the ark of the testimony, about everything which I will give in commandment to you for the sons of Israel. And you shall make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, and 1 cubit its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, and make it gold molding all around. And you shall make for it a frame of a handbreadth all around. And you shall make a gold molding for the frame all around. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings on the 4 corners that are at its 4 legs. The rings, close to the frame, shall be as holders for the poles to bear the table. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be carried with them. And you shall make its dishes, and its pans, its pitchers to pour, and you shall make them with pure gold. And you shall set on the table the bread of presence before me always. And you shall make a lampstand of pure gold, a hammered work. The menorah, its shaft and its branches, its bowls, its ornamental knobs and flowers shall be of one piece. And 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches of the menorah out of one side, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the second side. 3 bowls made like almond blossoms shall be on one branch, a bulb and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almond blossoms on the other branch, a bulb and a flower. The same for 6 branches going out from the menorah. And on the menorah 4 bowls shaped like almond blossoms, its bowls and its flowers. A bowl shall be under the first pair of branches coming out of it, and a bowl under the second pair of the branches coming out of it, and a bowl under the third pair of branches coming out of it, for the 6 branches coming out of the menorah. Their bowls and their branches shall be of one piece with it. All of it shall be one piece of hammered work of pure gold. And you shall make 7 lamps for it, and they shall arrange its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its wick trimmers and their trays shall be of pure gold. All these utensils shall be made with a talent of pure gold. And see to it that you make them according to the pattern which was shown you on the mountain. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, purple, blue, and scarlet, with designs of artistic cherubim. You shall weave them. The length of one curtain, 28 cubits, and the width of 4 cubits, the measurement for one curtain. Each curtain shall have the same measurement. 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another. You shall make loops of violet on the edge of the outermost curtain on one set, and likewise you shall make them on the edge of the curtain that is the outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 loops in the one curtain, and you shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is in the second set. The loops shall be opposite each other. You shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains together with the clasps, so that it may be one tabernacle. And you shall make curtains of goat's hair to be a tent over the tabernacle. You shall make 11 curtains in all. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains shall have the same measurements. You shall make 5 curtains by themselves, and the 6 curtains by themselves. And you shall double over the 6th curtain at the forefront of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the first set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. And you shall make 50 bronze clasps, and put the clasps into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant of the curtains that remains of the tent, that half that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. The cubit on one side and the cubit on the other side of what is left over in the length of the curtains of the tent shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on one side and on the other side, to cover it. And you shall make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering of a fine leather above. And you shall make the boards of the tabernacle of acacia wood standing upright. The length of the board shall be 10 cubits, and the width of each board shall be a cubit and a half a cubit. And there shall be 2 tenons for each board, fitted one to another. And that is what you shall do for all the boards of the tabernacle. You shall make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side. You shall make 40 bases of silver under the 20 boards, 2 bases under one board, for its 2 tenons, and 2 bases under another board, for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, 20 boards, and there 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one board, and 2 bases under another board. For the back of the tabernacle to the west, you shall make 6 boards. You shall make 2 boards for the corners of the tabernacle at the back. They shall be double beneath, and together they shall be complete to its top to the first ring. This is how it shall be with both of them. They shall form the 2 corners. And there shall be 8 boards with their silver bases of silver, 16 bases, 2 bases under one board, and 2 bases under another board. And you shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the back side to the west. The middle bar in the center of the board shall pass through from end to end. And you shall overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold as holders for the bars. And you shall overlay the bars with gold. And you shall erect the tabernacle according to its plan, which you have been shown on the mountain. And you shall make a veil woven of blue and purple and scarlet thread, fine woven linen. An artistic design of cherubim shall be woven into it. And you shall hang it upon 4 pillars of acacia overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be gold, upon 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang the veil from the clasps, and you shall bring the ark of the testimony in there behind the veil. And the veil shall be a divider between the holy place for you and the most holy. And you shall put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy. And you shall set the table outside the veil, and the menorah across from the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south, and the table you shall put on the north side. And you shall make a screen for the door of the tabernacle, blue and purple and scarlet, of fine woven linen, made by a weaver. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia, and overlay them with gold. Their hooks, gold. And you shall cast for them 5 bronze sockets. And you shall make an altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. And you shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. And you shall make its pans to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its forks, and its fire pans, all its utensils, you shall make bronze. And you shall make for it a net grate, a work of bronze. And you shall make on the network 4 rings of bronze at its 4 corners. And you shall put under the rim beneath the altar, that the net may be given to midway up the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. And you shall put the poles in the rings, and the poles shall be on 2 sides of the altar to bear it. And you shall make it hollow with boards, as it was shown to you on the mountain, so shall you make it. And you shall make the courtyard of the tabernacle. On the south side there shall be hangings for the courtyard of fine twisted linen, 100 cubits long for one side, and its pillars shall be 20, and their 20 bases of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be of silver. And likewise on the north side in the length there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars with its 20 bases of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be of silver. For the width of the courtyard on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 bases. The width of the courtyard on the east side shall be 50 cubits. The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. And for the other side there shall be hangings of 15 cubits, and with their pillars and their 3 bases. And for the gate of the courtyard there shall be a curtain of 20 cubits, of violet, purple, and scarlet, and fine twisted linen, the work of a weaver, with their 4 pillars and their 4 bases. All the pillars around the courtyard shall be joined together with silver, with their hooks of silver, and their bases of bronze. The length of the courtyard shall be 100 cubits, and the width 50 throughout, and the height 5 cubits of fine twisted linen, and their bases of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle, in all its service, and all its pegs, and all the pegs of the courtyard, shall be of bronze. Tetzaveh. And you shall command the sons of Israel that they bring you oil of pressed pure olives for the light, to cause the lamp to burn continually. Aaron and his sons shall tend it from evening until morning before YHWH in the tabernacle of meeting outside the veil which is before the testimony. It shall be a statute forever on behalf of the sons of Israel to their generations. And you shall take Aaron your brother and his sons with him from among the sons of Israel unto you, that he may minister as priest to me. Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, sons of Aaron. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. And you shall speak to all gifted artisans whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make garments for Aaron to consecrate him, that he may minister as a priest to me. And these are the garments which they shall make: breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a tunic skillfully woven, a turban, and a sash, So they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that he may minister as priest to me. And they shall take the gold and blue and purple yarns and scarlet and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, blue, and purple yarns, and scarlet and fine woven linen artistically worked. It shall have 2 shoulder straps joined to it at the 2 edges, that it may be joined together. And the intricately woven band of the ephod which is on it of the same workmanship, gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine woven linen. And you shall take 2 onyx stones, and engrave the names of the sons of Israel on them, 6 of their names on 1 stone, and the rest of the 6 names on the 2nd stone, in order of their birth. You shall engrave with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet. 2 stones with the names of the sons of Israel, you shall set them in settings of gold. And you shall put the 2 stones on the shoulders of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before Yehovah on his 2 shoulders as a memorial. You shall make settings of gold, and 2 braided chains of pure gold, and you shall make a work of cord and fasten the braided chains to the settings. And you shall make the breastplate of judgment artistically woven. According to the workmanship of the ephod, you shall make it of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine woven linen you shall make it. It shall be doubled into a square. Its length span shall be its width span. And you shall put in it settings of stones, 4 rows of stone. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald. The first row. The second row, turquoise, a sapphire, and yahalom, a precious stone. The third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. And they shall be set in settings of gold. And the stones shall have upon them the names of the sons of Israel, 12, according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, with each one its own name. They shall be according to the 12 tribes. And you shall make for the breastplate chains at the end, like braided cords of pure gold. And you shall make for the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall put 2 braided chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 other ends of the braided chains you shall fasten to the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder straps of the ephod, to the front of it. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, on the edge of it which is on the side of the inner ephod. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 shoulder straps underneath the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by means of its rings to the rings of the ephod, using a blue cord, so that it is above the intricately woven band of the ephod, so that the breastplate does not come loose from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel on the breastplate of judgment over his heart, when he goes into the holy place as a memorial before Yehovah continually. And you shall put in the breastplate of the judgment ha-urim and ha-turim, and they shall be over the heart of Aaron when he goes in before Yehovah. So shall Aaron bear the judgment of the sons of Israel over his heart before Yehovah continually. And you shall make the robe of the ephod all of blue, and there shall be an opening for his head in the middle of it. Its opening shall have a binding all around it, woven work, like the opening of a coat of mail, so that it does not tear. And you shall make upon its hem pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet around on its hem, and bells of gold between them all around, a golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, all around on the hem of the robe. and it shall be on Aaron when he ministers. And its sound will be heard when he goes into the holy place before Yehovah and when he comes out, that he may not die. And you shall make a plate of pure gold, and engrave on it the engraving of a signet, Chodesh liYehovah, holy to Yehovah. And you shall put on it blue cord, that it may be on the turban. It shall be on the front face of the turban, and it shall be on the forehead of Aaron, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things which the sons of Israel consecrate in all their holy gifts. And it shall be on his forehead always, that they may be accepted unto them before Yehovah. And you shall skillfully weave the tunic of fine linen, and you shall make the turban of fine linen, and the sash shall be of woven work. For the sons of Aaron you shall make tunics, and you shall make sashes for them, and you shall make turbans for glory and beauty. And you shall put them on Aaron your brother and on his sons with him, and you shall anoint them and consecrate them and sanctify them, that they may minister as priests to me. And you shall make linen trousers for them to cover their nakedness from the waist, and they shall reach to the thighs. And they shall be on Aaron and on his sons when they come into the tabernacle of meeting, or when they come near unto the altar to minister to the holy place, that they do not incur iniquity and die. It is a statute forever to him and his seed after him. And this is the thing that you shall do to them to consecrate them for ministering as priests to me. Take one young bull, and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread and unleavened cakes mixed with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil. You shall make them of wheat flour. And you shall put them in one basket, and bring them in the basket, and with the bull and the 2 rams. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of the meeting, and you shall wash them with water. And you shall take the garments, and put on Aaron the tunic, and the robe of the ephod, and the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the intricately woven band of the ephod. And you shall put the turban on his head, the crown on the turban. And you shall take the anointing oil, and pour it on his head, and anoint him. And you shall bring his sons, and put on them tunics, and you shall gird them with sashes, Aaron and his sons, and put the turbans on them. And theirs shall be the priesthood for perpetual statute. And you shall consecrate Aaron and his sons. And you shall have brought the bull before the tabernacle of the meeting, and Aaron and his sons shall put the head of the bull on their hands. And you shall kill the bull before Yehovah by the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And you shall take some of the blood of the bull, and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour all the blood beside the base of the altar. And you shall take all the fat that covers the entrails, and the fatty lobe to the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, and burn them on the altar. But the flesh of the bull, and with all its skin and its offal, you shall burn with fire outside the camp, a sin offering. And you shall also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands on the head of the ram. And you shall kill the ram, and you shall take its blood, and sprinkle it on the altar all around. And you shall cut the ram in pieces, and wash its entrails and its legs, and put them with its pieces and with its head. And you shall burn the whole ram on the altar. It is a burnt offering to Yehovah, a sweet aroma. It is an offering made by fire to Yehovah. And you shall take the 2nd ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands on the head of the ram. And you shall kill the ram, and take some of its blood, and put it on the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and on the tip of the right ear of his sons, and on the thumb of their right hand, and on the big toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood on the altar all around. And you shall take some of the blood that is on the altar, and some of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it on Aaron and on his garments and his sons, and on the garments of his sons with him. And he and his garments shall be consecrated, and his sons' garments with him. And you shall take the fat of the ram, and the fatty tail, and the fat that covers the entrails, and the fatty lobe to the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat is on them, and the right thigh, for it is a ram of consecration. And 1 loaf of bread, 1 cake of bread, and oil, 1 wafer, and 1 of the unleavened bread from the basket that is before YHWH. And you shall put all these in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and you shall wave them as a wave offering before YHWH. And you shall receive them back from their hands and burn them on the altar as a burnt offering, as a sweet aroma before YHWH, an offering made by fire to YHWH. And you shall take the consecration breast of the ram of Aaron, and wave it as a wave offering before YHWH, and it shall be your portion. And you shall consecrate the breast of the wave offering, and the thigh of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is raised from the ram of the consecration, which is for Aaron, and that which is for his sons. And it shall be for Aaron and his sons by a statute forever from the sons of Israel, for it is a heave offering, and it shall be a heave offering from the sons of Israel, from the sacrifices of their peace offerings. That is their heave offering to YHWH. The holy garments of Aaron shall be for his sons after him, so that they may be anointed and consecrated in them. For 7 days the one of his sons, who is priest in his place, shall put them on when he enters the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place. And you shall take the ram of the consecration, and boil its flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And they shall eat these things, with which the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them. But an outsider shall not eat them, because they are holy. And if any of the flesh of the consecration offerings remains, or of the bread, until the morning, then you shall burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. Thus you shall do to Aaron and his sons, thus according to all that I have commanded you. You shall consecrate them 7 days. And you shall offer a bull as a sin offering every day for atonement. And you shall cleanse the altar for it when you make atonement, and you shall anoint it to sanctify it. You shall make atonement for the altar for 7 days and sanctify it, and the altar shall be most holy. Whatever touches the altar must be holy. And this is what you shall offer on the altar: 2 lambs of the first day by day, continually. You shall offer 1 lamb in the morning, and the second lamb you shall offer at twilight. And there shall be 1/10 of an ephah of flour mixed with pressed oil, and 1/4 of a hin as a drink offering, 1/4 of a hin of wine, with the 1 lamb. And with the second lamb you shall offer at twilight, as in the morning, grain offering, and a drink offering, and you shall offer it for a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to YHWH. This shall be a burnt offering continual throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the meeting before YHWH, where I will meet with you and speak with you there. And I will meet there with the sons of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. I will consecrate the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and both Aaron and his sons I will consecrate to minister as priests to me. And I will dwell among the sons of Israel, and will be their Elohim. And they shall know that I am Yehovah their God, who brought them up out of the land of Egypt, that I may dwell among them. I am Yehovah their Elohim. And you shall make an altar to burn incense on it. You shall make it of acacia wood. A cubit shall be its length, and a cubit its width. It shall be square, and 2 cubits shall be its height. All shall be of one piece with it. And you shall overlay its top and its sides all around with pure gold, and you shall make its horns for it with a gold molding all around. And you shall make 2 gold rings for it, and you shall place them under the molding on 2 of its sides, and they will be for holders for the poles to bear it, with those on its 2 sides. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put it before the veil that is before the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with you. And Aaron shall burn sweet incense on it, morning by morning, when he tends the lamps, he shall burn incense on it. And when Aaron lights the lamps at twilight, he shall burn incense on it, a perpetual incense before Yehovah throughout your generations. You shall not offer strange incense on it, or a burnt offering, or a grain offering, nor a drink offering shall you pour on it. And Aaron shall make atonement upon its horns once in the year with the blood of the sin offering of atonement. Once in the year he shall make atonement upon it. Throughout your generations it is most holy to Yehovah. He tisa. And Yehovah said to Moshe, when you take the census of the sons of Israel for their number, then every man shall give a ransom for himself to Yehovah when you number them, that there may be no plague among them when you number them. This is what everyone shall give among those who are numbered, half a shekel according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs is a shekel. This half shekel is an offering to Yehovah. Everyone included among those who are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give to Yehovah an offering. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half a shekel, when you give an offering to Yehovah to make atonement for yourselves. And you shall take the atonement money of the sons of Israel, and shall appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of meeting, that it may be for the sons of Israel a memorial before Yehovah to make atonement for yourselves. And Yehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, and you shall take and make a laver of bronze, and with it a base of bronze for washing. And you shall put it between the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and you shall put water in it. For Aaron and his sons shall wash in water from it, their hands and their feet. When they go into the tabernacle of meeting, they shall wash with water, lest they die. Or when they come near unto the altar to minister, to burn an offering made by fire to Yehovah, and they shall wash their hands and their feet, lest they die. And it shall be to them a statute forever to him and his seed throughout their generations. Moreover, Yehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, and you take for yourself the best spices, flowing myrrh, 500 shekels, and of fragrant cinnamon, half as much, 250, and the fragrant cane, 250, and of cassia, 500, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, and of olive oil, a hin. And you shall make from these a holy anointing oil, an oil compounded according to the art of the perfumer. It shall be a holy anointing oil. And you shall anoint the tabernacle of meeting with it, and ark of the testimony, and the table, and all its utensils, and the lampstand, and its utensils, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering, and with all its utensils, and the laver and its base. And you shall consecrate them, that they may be most holy. Whatever touches them must be holy. And ye shall anoint and consecrate Aaron and his sons, that they may minister as priests to me. And ye shall speak to the sons of Israel, saying, This shall be a holy anointing oil to me throughout your generations. It shall not be poured on the flesh of man according to its composition, nor shall you make any other like it. It is holy. It shall be holy to you. Anyone who compounds like it, or whoever puts it on an outsider, shall be cut off from his people. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Take to you sweet spices, stacte, and onycha, and galbanum, sweet spices, and pure frankincense. There shall be equal amounts of each. And you shall make an incense of these, a compound according to the art of the perfumer, salted, pure, holy. And the incense which you shall make, you shall not make in the same proportions for yourselves. It shall be holy to you for Jehovah. Whoever makes like it, to use as a perfume, shall be cut off from his people. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, See, I have called by name Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, and I have filled him with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom, and in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship to design artistic works, to work in gold, and in silver, and in bronze, and in cutting jewels for setting, and in carving wood, to work in all manner of workmanship. And I have appointed with him Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. And in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded you: the tabernacle of meeting, the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is on it, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table and its utensils, and the pure lampstand, and with all its utensils, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering, and with all its utensils, and the laver and its base, and garments of the ministry, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments for his sons to minister as priests, and the anointing oil and sweet incense for the holy place, according to all that I have commanded you, they shall do. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, And you speak to the sons of Israel, saying, Truly, my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Jehovah who sanctifies you. Therefore you shall keep the Sabbath, for it is holy to you. Everyone who profanes it shall surely be put to death, for whoever does work on it, and that person shall be cut off from among his people. For 6 days work shall be done, but the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to Jehovah. Whoever does work on the Sabbath day, surely he shall be put to death. Therefore the sons of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the sons of Israel forever. For in 6 days Jehovah made the heavens and the earth, And on the seventh day he rested, and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of speaking with him on Mount Sinai, 2 tablets of the testimony written on stone tablets with the finger of Elohim. And when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, Come, make us gods that shall go before us. For this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. And Aaron said to them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, to bring them to me. So all the people broke off the golden earrings that were in their ears, and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand, and he fashioned it with an engraving tool, and made a molded calf. And they said, These are your gods, Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw, he built an altar for it. And Aaron made a proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to YHWH. And they rose early on the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. And YHWH said to Moshe, Go, get down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have quickly turned aside out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded calf, and worshipped it, and sacrificed to it, and said, These are your gods, Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. And YHWH said to Moshe, I have seen this people, and indeed it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them, and I will make a great nation of you. And Moses pleaded with YHWH, his Elohim, and said, Why, YHWH, does your wrath burn hot against your people, whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, with great power and with a mighty hand? Why should Egypt speak and say, He brought them out to harm them, and to kill them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the ground? Turn from your wrath, and relent from this harm to your people. Remember Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, your servants, whom you swore by your own self, and said to them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of the heavens, and all this earth that I have spoken of I give to your descendants, and they shall inherit it forever. And YHWH relented from the harm which he said he would do to his people. And Moses turned and went down from the mountain, and the 2 tablets of the testimony were in his hand. The tablets were written on 2 sides of their sides, on this side and on this side. They were written. And the tablets were the work of Elohim, and the writing engraved on the tablets was the writing of Elohim. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, There is a noise of war in the camp. But he said, Not the noise of the shout of victory, and not the noise of the cry of defeat, but the sound of singing I hear. And it was, as soon as he came near unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger became hot. And he cast out of his hands the tablets, and broke them at the foot of the mountain. And he took the calf which they had made and burned it in the fire and ground it to a powder, and he scattered it over the face of the water and made the sons of Israel drink. And Moses said to Aaron, "What did this people do to you, that you have brought upon them so great a sin?" And Aaron said, "Do not let the anger of my master become hot. You know the people that it is set on evil. For they said to me, 'Make us gods that shall go before us.' As for this Moses, the man who brought us out from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." And I said to them, "Who has gold, let them break it off." And they gave it to me, and I cast it in the fire, and this calf came out. And when Moses saw that the people were unrestrained, for Aaron had not restrained them, to their shame, among their enemies, then Moses stood in the entrance of the camp and said, "Who is for YHWH? Come to me." And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together to him. And he said to them, "Thus says YHWH Elohei of Israel, let every man put his sword on his side, go in and out from entrance to entrance throughout the camp, and let every man kill his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor." And the sons of Levi did according to the word of Moshe, and about 3,000 men of the people fell that day. And Moses said, "Consecrate yourselves today to YHWH, for every man has opposed his son and his brother, that he may bestow on you a blessing this day." And it came to pass on the next day that Moses said to the people, "You have committed a great sin. And now I will go up to YHWH. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." And Moses returned to YHWH and said, "Oh, this people have committed a great sin, and have made for themselves a god of gold. And yet now, if you will forgive their sin, but if not, blot me out of your book which you have written, I pray." And YHWH said to Moshe, "He who is that has sinned against me, I will blot him out of my book. Therefore now go, lead the people to the place of which I have spoken to you. Behold, my angel shall go before you, and nevertheless in this day I visit for punishment. I will visit punishment upon them for their sin." And YHWH plagued the people upon which that they did with the calf which Aaron made. And YHWH said to Moshe, "Depart and go up from this place, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, to the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. And I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanite, Amorite, the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey, for I will not go up in your midst, for you are a stiff-necked people, lest I consume you on the way." And when the people heard the bad news, they mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. For YHWH had said to Moshe, "Say to the sons of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. In one moment I could come up into your midst and consume you. Now therefore take off your ornaments, that I may know what to do to you." And the sons of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by Mount Horeb. And Moses took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far outside from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of meeting. And it came to pass that everyone who sought Jehovah went out to the tabernacle of meeting that was outside the camp. And it was that whenever Moses went out to the tabernacle, all the people rose and stood, each man at his tent door, and watched the back of Moses until he had gone to the tabernacle. And it came to pass that when Moses entered the tabernacle, the pillar of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle and talked with Moses. And all the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the door of the tabernacle, and all the people rose and worshipped, each man at his tent door. And Jehovah spoke to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his neighbor. And he would return to the camp, but his servant Joshua, son of Nun, a young man, did not depart from the tabernacle. And Moses said to Jehovah, See, you say to me, Bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. And yet you have said, I know you by name. And also you have found grace in my sight. Now therefore, if, I pray, I have found favor in your sight, show me your way, that I may know you, and that I may find grace in your sight, and consider this nation your people. And he said, My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. And he said to him, If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from this place. For by what then will it be known here that I and your people have found grace in your sight? Except you go with us. And I and your people shall be separate from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Also this thing that you have spoken I will do, for you have found grace in my sight, and I do know you by name. And he said, Show me, please, your glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of Jehovah before you. And I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But he said, You cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. Here is a place by me, and you shall stand on the rock. So it shall be while my glory passes by that I will put you in the cleft of the rock, and with my hand will cover you while I pass by. And I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Cut for you 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will write on these tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the mountain to Mount Sinai, and present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. And no man shall come up with you, and let no man be seen throughout the mountain, neither flocks nor herds, neither let them feed before the front of that mountain. And he cut 2 tablets of stones like the first. And Moses rose early in the morning, and went up into Mount Sinai, as Jehovah had commanded him. And he took in his hand the 2 tablets of stone. And Jehovah descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of Jehovah. And Jehovah passed before him, and proclaimed, Jehovah, Jehovah El, merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the sons and the children of the sons, to the 3rd and 4th generation. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped. And he said, Now, if I have found grace in your sight, Master, I pray, let my master go among us, even though we are a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us as your inheritance." And he said, "Behold, I make a covenant. Before all your people I will do marvels, such as not have been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among whom you live will see the working of YHWH, for it is an awesome thing that I am going to perform with you. You observe what I command you this day. Behold, I am driving out from before you the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going, lest it be a snare in your midst. But their altars you shall destroy, and break their pillars, and their images cut down. For you shall not worship another God. For YHWH, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they play the harlot with their gods, and make sacrifices to their gods. You shall not make molded gods for yourself. 7 days you shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, in the appointed time of the month of Abib, for in the month of Abib you came out from Egypt. All that open the womb are mine, and every male firstborn among your livestock, ox or sheep. But the firstborn of the donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem him, then you shall break his neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem, and none shall appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall rest. In plowing time and in harvest you shall rest. And you shall observe the Feast of Weeks of the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the Feast of Ingathering at the end of the year. 3 times in the year all your men shall appear before the Master YHWH Eloheh of Israel. For I will cast out the nations before you, and enlarge your borders, and neither will any man covet your land when you go up to appear before YHWH your El 3 times in the year. You shall not offer leaven with the blood of my sacrifice, nor shall your sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left until morning. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring to the house of YHWH, your Elohim. You shall not boil a young goat in the milk of its mother. And YHWH said to Moshe, You write these words, for upon the mouth of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he was there with YHWH 40 days and 40 nights. He ate neither bread nor drank water, and he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, 10 commandments. And it was so, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, the 2 tablets of the testimony were in Moses' hand. When he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. And when Aaron and all the sons of Israel saw Moses, and behold, the skin of his face shone, they were afraid to come near to him. And Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned, and Moses talked with them. And afterward all the sons of Israel came near, and he gave them as commandments all that YHWH had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. And when Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. And whenever Moses went in before YHWH to speak with him, he would take off the veil until he came out. And he would come out and speak to the sons of Israel whatever he had been commanded. And whenever the sons of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone, then Moses would put the veil on his face again until he went in to speak with him. Vachil. And Moses gathered together all the congregation of the sons of Israel and said to them, These are the words which Jehovah has commanded to do. Work shall be done for 6 days, but the seventh day shall be a holy day for you, a Sabbath of rest to Jehovah. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death. You shall not kindle fire throughout your dwellings on the Sabbath day. And Moses said to all the congregation of the sons of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Jehovah commanded, saying, Take from among you an offering to Jehovah. Whoever is of willing heart, let him bring it, an offering to Jehovah. Gold and silver and bronze and blue and purple and scarlet thread and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skins dyed red and badger skins and acacia wood and oil for the light and spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense and onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And all wise-hearted among you shall come and make all that Jehovah has commanded: the tabernacle, its tent and its covering, its clasps and its boards, its bars, its pillars and its sockets, the ark and its poles with the mercy seat and the veil of the covering, the table and its poles and all its utensils, and the bread of the presence, and also the menorah for the light, and its utensils, and its lamps, and the oil for the light, and the altar of the incense, and its poles, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the screen for the entrance at the door of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering, and its bronze grating, and the poles to it, and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars, and their sockets, and the screen for the gate of the court, the pegs of the tabernacle, and the pegs of the court, and their cords, the garments of ministry for ministering in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister as priests. And all the congregation of the sons of Israel departed from the presence of Moses, and everyone whose heart was stirred came, and all whose spirit was willing. They brought offering of Jehovah for the work of the tabernacle of the meeting, for all its service, and for the holy garments. And they came along with the men, women, as many as had a willing heart. And they brought earrings, and nose rings, and rings, and necklaces, all gold jewelry, and every man who made an offering of gold to Jehovah. And every man who was found with blue, and purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and red skins of rams, and badger skins brought them. All who offered an offering of silver or bronze brought the offering of Jehovah, and all who was found with acacia wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the women who were wise-hearted spun yarn with their hands, and brought what they had spun of blue, and purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred with wisdom spun yarns of goat's hair. And the rulers brought onyx stones, and the stones to be set in the ephod, and in the breastplate, and spices, and oil for the light, for the anointing oil, and the sweet spices for incense. All the men and women whose hearts were willing to bring material for all kinds of work, which Jehovah had commanded to be done by the hands of Moses, the sons of Israel brought a free will offering to Jehovah. And Moses said to the sons of Israel, See, Jehovah called by name Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, and he has filled them with the spirit of Elohim, in wisdom and understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, and to design artistic works, to work in gold and silver and bronze, and in cutting jewels for setting, and in carving wood, and to work in all manner of artistic workmanship. And he has put the ability to teach in his heart, him and Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. He has filled them with the wisdom of heart to do all manner of work of the engraver and the designer and the tapestry maker in blue and purple and scarlet yarn and fine linen, and of the weaver, those who do every work, and those who design artistic works. And Bezalel and Aholiab shall do, and every artisan wise-hearted in whom Jehovah has put wisdom and understanding in them, to know how to do all the manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that Jehovah has commanded. And Moses called Bezalel and Aholiab, and every gifted artisan in whose heart Jehovah had put wisdom of heart, all whose heart was stirred to come unto the work. And it was so. And they received from Moses all the offering which the sons of Israel had brought to make the work of the service of the sanctuary. And they continued bringing to him free will offerings morning after morning. And all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the sanctuary came, each man from the work that they were doing, and spoke to Moses, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Jehovah commanded to do. And Moses gave a commandment, and caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman do any more work for the offering of the sanctuary. And the people were restrained from bringing, for they had sufficient material for all the work to be done, indeed, too much. And all wise-hearted, who worked the work of the tabernacle, made 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and of blue and purple and scarlet thread, and they made them with cherubim of artistic designs on them. The length of the one curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of 4 cubits. The size of one curtain was the size for all. And he coupled 5 curtains one to one. 5 other curtains he coupled one to one. And he made loops of blue yarn on the outermost curtain in the first set. He did likewise on the edge of the curtain that was the outermost in the second set. He made 50 loops in the one curtain, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was on the second set. The loops were opposite, one to one. And he also made 50 clasps of gold, and joined the curtains one to another with the clasps, so that the tabernacle was one. And for the back of the tabernacle, to the west, he made 6 boards. He made 2 boards for the corners of the tabernacle at the back. They were double beneath, and together they were complete to its top, to the first ring. He did this with both of them for the 2 corners. There were 8 boards with their bases of silver, 16 bases, 2 bases under every board. And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the second side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle for the back, to the west. And he made the middle bar to pass through in the center of the boards from end to end. And he overlaid the boards with gold, and made their rings of gold, holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and purple and scarlet thread and fine woven linen. It is an artistic design of cherubim. And he made for it 4 pillars of acacia, and overlaid them with gold, with their hooks of gold. And he cast for them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a screen for the door of the tabernacle, blue and purple and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, the work of a weaver, and its 5 pillars with their hooks. And he overlaid their capitals with gold rings, but their 5 sockets were bronze. And Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood. 2 cubits and a half was its length, and a cubit and a half its width, and a cubit and a half its height. And he overlaid it with pure gold inside and outside, and made a gold molding all around it. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold in its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the second side of it. And he made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to bear the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits was its length, and a cubit and a half its width. And he made 2 gold cherubim beaten of one piece. He made them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat, 1 cherub at one end on this side, and 1 cherub at the other end, the other side. He made the mercy seat with the 2 cherubim, its ends, of one piece. And the cherubim spread out their wings above, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, and they faced one unto another. Toward the mercy seat were the faces of the cherubim. And he made the table of acacia wood, 2 cubits its length, and a cubit its width, and a cubit and a half its height. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made a molding of gold all around it. And he made a frame of a handbreadth all around it, and made a gold molding for the frame all around it. Their knobs and their branches were of one piece, all of it was one hammered piece of pure gold. And he made its 7 lamps and its wick trimmers and its trays of pure gold. He made it with a talent of pure gold for all of its utensils. And he made the altar of the incense of acacia wood, its length a cubit, and its width a cubit, square, and 2 cubits its height. Of one piece with it were its horns, and he overlaid it with pure gold, the top of it and its sides, all around, and its horns. And he made a molding of gold for it all around. And he made 2 gold rings for it under the molding, 2 by its corners, and 2 on their sides as holders for the poles to bear it. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil and the pure sweet incense of spices, according to the work of the perfumer. And he made the altar of the burnt offering of acacia wood, 5 cubits its length, and 5 cubits its width, square, and 3 cubits its height. And he made its horn on its 4 corners. The horns were of one piece with it, and he overlaid it with bronze. And he made all the utensils for the altar, the pans, and the shovels, and the basins, and the forks, and the fire pans. All its utensils he made of bronze. And he made for the altar a grate, a work of bronze netting, beneath under its ledge, reaching halfway up. He cast 4 rings on the 4 ends of the bronze grating, holders for the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. And he inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar with which to carry it. He made it hollow with planks. And he made the laver of bronze and its base of bronze from the mirrors of the serving women who served at the doorway of the tent of meeting. And he made the courtyard. For the south side, the hangings of the courtyard were of fine twisted linen, 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 bases were made of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. And for the north side, 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 bases were of bronze, and the hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. For the west side, there were hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 bases. The hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. For the east, toward the sunrise, 50 cubits. The hangings, 15 cubits long on one side with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And the same for the second side, and of the gate, the court's hangings of 15 cubits with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And the hanging of the court all around were of fine woven linen, and the sockets for the pillars, bronze, and the hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. And all the pillars of the court had bands of silver. And the screen for the gate of the court was the work of woven blue and purple and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen, 20 cubits a length and 5 along its width, 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the court. And there were 4 pillars with their 4 sockets of bronze, their hooks silver, and the overlay of their capitals and their bands, silver, and all the pegs of the tabernacle and of the court all around, bronze. Verhoudet. These are the inventory items of the tabernacle. The testimony of the tabernacle, which counted according to the commandment of Moses for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. And Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, made all that Jehovah had commanded Moses, and with him Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer, and a weaver of blue and purple and scarlet thread and of fine linen. All the gold that was used in all the work of the holy place, it was the gold of the offering, 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver from those who were numbered from the congregation, 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. For each man a bekah, half a shekel, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone who had crossed over to be numbered, 20 years old and above, 603,550 men. And they set onyx stones in enclosed settings of gold. They were engraved as signets are engraved with the names of the sons of Israel. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, memorial stones, for the sons of Israel, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And he made the artistically woven breastplate like the workmanship of the ephod, of gold and blue and purple and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen. By doubling the breastplate, they made it square. Its length span was its width span when doubled. And they set 4 rows of stone in it, a row with a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald was the first row. And the second row, a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in settings of gold in their mountings. And the names of the sons of Israel according to the stones were 12, according to their names engraved like a signet, each one with its own name, according to the 12 tribes. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robes to minister in all around between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate on the hem of the robe all around, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And they made tunics of fine linen, artistically woven, for Aaron and his sons, and a turban of fine linen, and exquisite hats of fine linen, and short trousers of fine woven linen, and a fine woven linen sash, with blue and purple and scarlet, the work of the weaver, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote on it an inscription like the engraving of a signet, Chodesh la Yehovah, holy to Jehovah. And they tied a blue cord to it to fasten it above on the turban, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Thus all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting was finished. And the sons of Israel did all according to that Jehovah commanded Moses, so they did. And they brought to Moses the tent of the tabernacle, and all its furnishings, its clasps, its boards, its bars, and its pillars, and its sockets, and the covering of the dyed red ram skins, and the covering of the badger skins, and the veil of the covering, and the ark of the testimony with its poles and the mercy seat, the table and all its utensils, the bread of the presence, the pure gold menorah with its lamps, the lamps set in order, and all its utensils, and all the oil for the light, and the gold altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the screen door for the tabernacle, the bronze altar, the bronze grate, its poles, and all its utensils, and the laver with its base, the court hangings, its pillars, and its sockets, and the screen gate for the court, its cords, and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the tabernacle for the tent of meeting, and the garments of ministry to minister in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments for his sons to minister as priests, according to all that Jehovah had commanded Moses. So the sons of Israel did all the work. And Moses looked over all the work, and indeed they had done it as Jehovah had commanded. Just so they had done it. And Moses blessed them. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month you shall set up the tabernacle, the tent of the meeting. And you shall put in it the ark of the testimony, and partition off the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and arrange the things that are to be set in order on it. And you shall bring in the menorah, and light its lamps. And you shall set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put up the screen door of the tabernacle. And you shall set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. And you shall set the laver between the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. And you shall set up the court all around, and hang up the screen at the court gate. And you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle and all that is in it, and you shall consecrate it and all its utensils, and it shall be holy. And you shall anoint the altar of the burnt offering, and all its utensils, and consecrate the altar, and the altar shall be most holy. And you shall anoint the laver and its base, and consecrate it. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of the meeting, and wash them with water. And you shall put the holy garments on Aaron, and anoint him, and consecrate him, that he may minister as priest to me. And he set upon it the bread in order before YHWH, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he put the menorah in the tabernacle of meeting across from the table on the south side of the tabernacle. And he lit the lamps before YHWH, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he put the gold altar in the tabernacle of meeting in front of the veil. And he burned sweet incense on it, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he hung up the screen at the door of the tabernacle. And he put the altar of burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the grain offering, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he set the laver between the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and put there the water for washing. And Moses and Aaron and his sons would wash their hands and their feet whenever they went into the tabernacle of meeting, and when they came near the altar, they washed as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he raised up the court all around the tabernacle and the altar, and hung up the screen of the court gate. And Moses finished the work. And the cloud covered the tabernacle of meeting, and the glory of YHWH filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tabernacle of meeting, because the cloud rested above it, and the glory of YHWH filled the tabernacle. And whenever the cloud was taken up from above the tabernacle, the sons of Israel would go onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not journey till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of YHWH was above the tabernacle by day, and fire was over it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. May Jehovah bless you and keep you. May Jehovah cause his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. May Jehovah bless you and keep you. May Jehovah lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. Yivrechecha Yehovah v'yishmerecha. Yair Yehovah panav elecha v'yonecha. Yisa Yehovah panav elecha Vayasim lecha shalom.
The steadfast love of Yehovah never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. Yehovah is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I have hope in him. Yehovah is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. Great is thy faithfulness,